Hello there, Stevos, and welcome along to another episode of Steve's Movie Wrap-Up. Two movies to talk about in this episode. So, without further ado, let's see what movies they are this week, and let's talk about them.
You're watching Steve's Movie Wrap-Up, episode 71, right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. The first movie we'll be reviewing in this episode is Lilo and Stitch 2025.
So the first movie I've got to talk about is Lilo and Stitch, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. I remember growing up and watching the animated version of Lilo and Stitch on VHS. Every time the movie ended, I used to go back and rewind the movie back to the beginning and then rewatch it again. That's how much I enjoyed watching the animated version of the film. I haven't seen the animated Lilo and Stitch film for years now, though. I should really check it out at some point over on Disney+. But here we are in 2025, though, and we have a live-action Disney movie of Lilo and Stitch. Did we need a live-action remake of a Disney classic? Probably not. Like most of the other Disney classics that have been given a live-action remake. But nevertheless, though, we have a live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch in 2025. So what did I think of Lilo and Stitch? It was a rather decent movie, surprisingly. I haven't really been a huge fan of the live-action Disney remakes of classic stories that I grew up with, and Lilo and Stitch is one of those movies that I grew up with. I was rather sceptical about this movie when it first got announced as a live-action film. I am pretty sure it was going to originally be released on streaming via Disney+, or at least there was a rumour that it was, but it got released theatrically, and I think for Disney that is a wise choice. Besides, there's a lot of people out there who have a lot of love for Stitch. It could also be the first movie in 2025 that could break $1 billion at the box office, which is great for Disney. It's a lot better than the most recent live-action Disney remake that they did, which is Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler, which is out on Disney Plus right now, and a review of that is on the way, by the way. Just like the original, I absolutely adored Stitch, and given that Stitch is CGI, honestly didn't have an issue with it, his design at all. He looked pretty good in live action form, just like the animated version. The music that we hear in the original animated movie is in this film, which for me is so nostalgic given how long it has been since I last watched the animated version. They also recreated the opening sequence from the animated film as well, without spoiling the ending of the film, but the ending is rather emotional and does hit you in the feels. There's a couple of people who I know who have already seen the film, and they admitted to me that they cried during the end scene, and I can't lie, I had some tears in my eyes while watching that scene as well. The message in the film is also rather clear. Just like in the original film, Ohana means family and means that nobody gets left behind. There are some rather funny scenes in the live-action version that you don't see in the original, including Stitch gate crashing a wedding party. I thought that scene was rather funny. Is Lilo and Stitch a decent movie? Yes, I think so, and definitely one that is rewatchable. I can see myself rewatching this one again when it hits Disney Plus later this year for sure. There are a couple of scenes that we see in the original which have been altered for the live-action version. The scene where Lilo opens Stitch's mouth to play Suspicious Minds by Elvis Presley. Well, that's in here, but while in the original we get her sister looking all shocked and freaked out by this, in the live-action version she doesn't seem to pay much attention to that at all. And the same with when Lilo goes to the pet store and discovers Stitch for the first time. It's not Lilo's sister that takes her there, it's their next door neighbour, so there are some changes that they have made in the live-action version which fans of the animated movie will notice. I had a great time with Lilo and Stitch, and it is definitely a movie I can see myself going back to, and with the money that they are raking in at the box office, this could be a success for Disney. And recent rumours have also suggested Disney are lining up sequels to this live action movie as well, and if they are planning to make a sequel to the live action Lilo and Stitch, then I will definitely watch the sequel for sure. Lilo and Stitch is a movie that has the summer feels, the summer vibes to it, especially being set in Hawaii. It's a lot of fun for all the family, no matter the age. Either kids or adults are going to enjoy this movie, particularly adults like myself who have grown up watching the animated Lilo and Stitch movie. But Lilo and Stitch, the live action movie by Disney, is now showing in cinemas and theatres worldwide.
How to Train Your Dragon 2025.
And the final movie I watched this week is How to Train Your Dragon 2025, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Dean DeBreur is back at as the director of How to Train Your Dragon, but the twist with this is that it is a live-action adaptation of the animated movie that only got released 15 years ago, and in those last 15 years we have had a trilogy of animated movies in this franchise, and yes, there is also going to be a sequel of the live-action film because it was greenlit and announced way in advance before the film hit cinemas and theatres worldwide. Normally films that involves Vikings or period pieces aren't usually my thing, and I feel as though I have said this in a few reviews for a few films I've reviewed in the past, but nonetheless though, the costume designs were pretty accurate for the set time period as well as the set designs as well. You do have Gerard Butler and Nick Frost who are in the cast. I feel as though both characters are absolutely unrecognisable, although Nick Frost does have a recognisable voice, and I did think halfway through the movie, is it me or am I hearing Nick Frost? Is he in this movie? I had no idea until I started talking about this movie that he was in this. I thought the actors who played the characters, Astrid and Hiccup, were pretty decent, although the whole chemistry between them, I wasn't really sold on that, to be honest, as when it comes to the sequel, I would like to see them improve the chemistry between the two characters, just to make that more believable, that they like each other in that way. As for the dragons themselves, I mean, they are CGI'd in here, of course, but the design of them looked rather cool, I can't lie. And also, I am so glad they got Toothless design right. Pretty much spot on from the original animated movie that was released in 2010, which is a good thing. At least there has been 2 live-action movie adaptations of animated movies I have watched this year, which has been pretty good on cartoon character designs. Lilo and Stitch, I'm looking at you when I say that as well. Is How to Train Your Dragon 2025 a movie that is worth seeing on the big screen? Well, at the moment, the cinema screening I went in to see this film for was rather busy. Lots of parents taking their kids to see this movie over the opening weekend, and from what I have seen, it is doing rather well at the worldwide box office as well, which is good. So I think they can tell that the fans are enjoying the live action version of How to Train Your Dragon, and it is worthy to make a sequel for. Also, does make me wonder though, when they announce these sequels in advance before the first movie hits the big screen, what if the movie didn't do well at the box office? Do they still go ahead with the sequel, or do they not bother? This film did have some laugh out loud moments within the dialogue, which did get some kids laughing and some adults. Even I myself did laugh at a couple of scenes here and there as well, so there is some comedy elements in here to keep the family entertained no matter the age. Is How to Train Your Dragon 2025 a movie that I can recommend people to go and watch? Yes, for sure it is. It keeps people, no matter the age, entertained for about 2 hours, which is half an hour longer than the original 2010 animated movie, as that clocked in at around 1 hour 30 minutes. It's also like, it's almost like they made the live action version but added some deleted scenes in from the animated movie, except made it live action. Also, is How to Train Your Dragon 2025 a movie I could see myself going back and revisiting? I think so, and whilst I'm at it, I will go back and rewatch all 3 of the animated movies again, because I swear I've only seen all 3 of them once and once only, and I have bought all 3 on digital as well, so I definitely do own those movies to watch again. But How to Train Your Dragon 2025 is now showing in cinemas and theatres worldwide. And with that, that is it for this week's episode of the movie wrap up. Feel free to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and as always, if you are new around here and you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below to become a Stevo. I'll be back on Monday the 16th of June 2025 at 4 PM UK time with your next episode of Steve's weekly vlog. Until then though, it's goodbye, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.